Hello, and welcome to your AI News Roundup for July 9th, 2026. Today we dive into massive shifts in the AI world. BofA is eyeing an IPO opportunity with OpenAI, while SambaNova breathes new life into the GPU chip market. Stay tuned for all the details. News number 1. A major bank is pivoting its view on the risk associated with OpenAI following recent market developments. BofA has shifted its assessment of OpenAI, moving from viewing the entity as too risky to now seeking opportunities related to an impending IPO. This change reflects a repositioning strategy by the institution looking to capitalize on the evolving valuation dynamics within the generative AI sector. The bank is actively positioning itself to cash in on potential public market entry for the technology firm. This strategic pivot suggests a growing confidence among major financial players regarding the long-term trajectory and valuation of leading foundation models. The move indicates that while risks persist, the perceived opportunity for an IPO is now outweighing previous concerns about instability. This action signals increased institutional interest in monetizing the rapidly expanding AI landscape. News number 2. Intel-backed startup SambaNova is positioning its new AI chip architecture to revitalize aging Nvidia GPUs based on recent performance benchmarks. The latest testing indicates that SambaNova's approach significantly improves efficiency and performance metrics compared to existing hardware configurations. This development addresses the bottleneck in current GPU architectures by optimizing the underlying chip design for specialized AI workloads. SambaNova is leveraging Intel's manufacturing capabilities to introduce a novel solution aimed at extending the viable lifespan of existing high-end GPUs through enhanced inference capabilities. The focus is on demonstrating superior performance per watt, directly challenging the limitations found in older silicon generations. This move comes as the market continues to grapple with the escalating costs and constraints associated with deploying large foundation models. Competitors are watching closely to see how this architectural shift impacts overall market share and enterprise adoption rates for specialized AI acceleration. News number 3. OpenAI has released an update to improve ChatGPT's conversational skill in generating witty banter. The new iteration focuses heavily on refining the model's ability to handle nuanced, playful dialogue across complex scenarios. This refinement was achieved through extensive fine-tuning using proprietary interaction data, focusing specifically on enhancing contextual awareness and tone modulation within text generation. While specific parameter counts or benchmark scores for the updated foundation model were not immediately disclosed, the move signals a strategic focus on advanced conversational AI capabilities. This development positions OpenAI to further solidify its competitive edge against rivals in the rapidly evolving generative language market. The effort underscores the industry trend toward prioritizing sophisticated role-playing and situational awareness in large language models. News number 4. Anthropic has filed a lawsuit against Abnormal AI alleging brand copying regarding its proprietary content. The legal action centers on claims that Abnormal AI utilized Anthropic's intellectual property in generating its content and branding, raising concerns over copyright infringement within the generative AI space. The suit alleges unauthorized use of specific brand identifiers and copyrighted material across their respective platforms. While the specific monetary damages sought are detailed in the filing, the core issue involves the alleged misappropriation of creative assets used to train or generate their models. This dispute highlights ongoing tensions regarding IP ownership for data utilized in foundation model development. The case pits Anthropic's claims over its proprietary training data against Abnormal AI's operational methods. Industry observers are watching closely how this litigation sets precedents for brand protection and content licensing when dealing with large language models and fine-tuning processes. News number 5. A recent political announcement regarding an AI action plan coincided with significant market activity in major tech equities. The timing of the declaration and massive stock purchases highlights a specific correlation between policy rhetoric and the valuation of foundational technology firms. The announcement, which declared that America is going to win in the context of AI strategy, occurred simultaneously with large-scale investments across the sector. Reports indicate that this coincided with substantial capital deployment into key players like Nvidia, Apple, and Microsoft. This move underscores the immediate financial impact of high-level policy shifts on market sentiment for foundational model developers and hardware providers. The simultaneous buying activity suggests a direct linkage between governmental AI, positioning, and investor confidence in the long-term trajectory of these companies. News number 6. Nvidia's market position is currently facing scrutiny amid a significant shift in its revenue structure and valuation. The market has recently implemented a 30% downward earnings revision for Nvidia, prompting debate over whether this adjustment adequately reflects the company's evolving role in the AI ecosystem. This shift is driven by the transition of Nvidia's core business model toward becoming the de facto central bank of AI, moving beyond just GPU sales into broader infrastructure services and platform monetization. This recalibration occurs as analysts assess the lag between the expected growth trajectory of the foundational model market and Nvidia's reported earnings. The focus is now on how this revenue transformation impacts long-term valuation, particularly considering competition in the inference and fine-tuning spaces. Industry observers are tracking whether the shift in revenue streams adequately accounts for the enterprise adoption rates and sustained demand across high-margin AI services. News number 7. Microsoft's Brad Smith expressed concern regarding Washington's approach to AI policy, emphasizing that regulation requires transparent and complete rules. The statement reflects a push for comprehensive governance frameworks across the sector. The comment highlights the ongoing tension between rapid foundational model deployment and establishing necessary safety guardrails within the U.S. regulatory environment. This perspective positions major industry players like Microsoft as advocating for structured policy development rather than fragmented, ad hoc rules. Smith's remarks underscore that effective governance is critical for managing the risks associated with large-scale AI deployment, particularly concerning transparency in model training and inference processes. The push for clear, comprehensive rules addresses the need for standardized approaches when dealing with complex issues like data provenance and algorithmic accountability. This aligns with broader competitive moves among tech giants seeking to define the operational boundaries of generative AI systems. News number 8. Amazon Web Services is introducing a new gateway that integrates the Claude Foundation model directly into the AWS ecosystem. This move establishes a new pathway for enterprise users to deploy and manage large language model operations within their cloud infrastructure. The gateway allows developers to streamline the process of handling complex AI inference tasks directly on AWS resources. This integration is designed to optimize latency and security for high-volume applications utilizing Claude's capabilities. The system facilitates seamless deployment, enabling organizations to leverage the model across various services without needing separate external API calls. Industry analysts view this as a significant competitive move, positioning AWS to capture greater market share in the enterprise AI space by offering tightly integrated LLM solutions. This architecture simplifies fine-tuning operations and data governance for large-scale deployments on AWS. The rollout targets enterprise clients seeking unified, secure access to cutting-edge generative AI services within their existing cloud framework. News number 9. Grok 4.5 integration represents a significant advancement in applying advanced AI capabilities to the boundaries of intelligence frontier technology. The latest update introduces Grok 4.5, which integrates advanced concepts from SpaceX AI into its core architecture. This move signals a strategic alignment between large foundation models and aerospace-grade artificial intelligence systems. While specific parameter counts or benchmarks are pending, this fusion focuses on pushing the limits of multimodal reasoning and real-time data inference within complex operational environments. This collaboration targets expanding the scope of Grok's utility by leveraging SpaceX AI's robust simulation and processing capabilities. The development aims to enhance the model's ability to handle high-velocity data streams, moving beyond traditional language models into domains requiring sophisticated predictive analytics for autonomous systems. This positioning allows the combined entity to explore novel applications in advanced operational intelligence. Competitors are closely watching this move, assessing how the integration of aerospace AI impacts the future trajectory of enterprise foundation models and specialized inference tasks. News number 10. Mistral has released its inaugural robotics model as part of a strategic physical AI push. The European AI firm Mistral has officially launched its first robotics model, marking a significant step in the company's expansion beyond traditional foundation models into physical AI applications. This development signals a focus on bridging the gap between large language models and real-world physical execution. The move is positioned as an aggressive effort to integrate sophisticated reasoning capabilities with tangible robotic systems. This initiative represents Mistral's commitment to advancing the practical deployment of generative AI, moving beyond purely digital operations into embodied intelligence. By integrating robotics, the company aims to develop models capable of understanding and interacting with the physical world in complex environments. This approach builds upon their established work in fine-tuning large models, focusing now on end-to-end systems that can translate abstract instructions into actionable physical movements. The launch is a key competitive move within the rapidly evolving landscape of embodied AI hardware integration. News number 11. Google DeepMind has launched a specialized AI skill designed to assist historians in analyzing ancient inscriptions. This initiative is being introduced through the EdTech Innovation Hub to bridge the gap between historical research and advanced machine learning applications. The new capability focuses on applying large language models and computer vision techniques to decipher and contextualize complex, often fragmented, textual data found in ancient epigraphy. This AI skill allows historians to process vast archives of inscriptions more efficiently than traditional methods, accelerating the pace of discovery regarding ancient civilizations. The framework leverages deep learning architectures to identify patterns and relationships within these texts, moving beyond simple transcription into deeper semantic analysis. This move positions DeepMind as a key player in applying foundation models to highly specialized academic domains. By providing this tool, Google DeepMind is demonstrating how advanced AI can unlock previously inaccessible knowledge for niche fields, setting a new benchmark for domain-specific application development within the educational technology sector. News number 12. A new foundation model from Qwen has successfully displaced Meta's Llama in the open-source AI landscape. This shift reflects a significant change in the competitive dynamics of the open-source community. The development highlights how focused fine-tuning and architectural optimization can rapidly close the performance gap between competing models. Qwen's recent release demonstrated superior performance metrics when benchmarked against Llama, establishing a new benchmark for open-source capabilities. This move signals increased adoption among developers seeking high-performing, accessible alternatives to proprietary systems. The competitive pivot demonstrates that advancements in model architecture and training methodologies are now driving the pace of innovation in the large language model space. Industry observers are closely monitoring this development as it impacts the deployment strategy for enterprise AI solutions globally. News number 13. Local school districts in New York City have paused technology purchases following intense debate over new AI policy. The decision places a hold on planned technology procurement as local officials address heated policy discussions regarding the integration of artificial intelligence into public education systems. The standoff centers on defining appropriate parameters for deploying AI tools within the public school environment and establishing ethical guidelines for these technologies. The debate involves various stakeholders, including district administrators, educators, and city oversight bodies, all grappling with how to balance technological advancement against educational policy mandates. This action signals a pause in planned technology deployment until regulatory frameworks are established concerning data privacy and algorithmic transparency. The conflict highlights the ongoing friction between rapid AI development and slow-moving public sector governance regarding large-scale technology adoption. News number 14. AI chip maker SambaNova secured $1 billion in funding, pushing their valuation to $11 billion 5 months after their previous mega round. The financing event signals significant investor confidence in the company's trajectory within the specialized AI hardware market. This valuation follows a major capital raise that occurred 5 months ago, demonstrating sustained interest in SambaNova's position in the high-performance computing sector. The recent funding provides crucial capital for scaling operations and expanding their product line focused on advanced AI accelerators. This move underscores the growing demand for bespoke silicon solutions necessary for complex foundation model inference workloads. News number 15. Meta is planning to invest billions of dollars to establish its first AI data center in Canada, making it the largest outside the United States. This massive infrastructure project signals a significant geopolitical shift in where foundational AI computing power is being deployed globally. The move involves establishing a major operational hub in Canada, marking a strategic expansion beyond North American borders for Meta's AI operations. While specific dollar figures and timelines are pending official release, this initiative underscores the growing demand for localized, high-capacity infrastructure to support next-generation large language model inference and training. This development positions the Canadian location as a critical node in the global AI supply chain, addressing concerns about data sovereignty and regional computing capacity. The deployment of this facility is a direct response to expanding computational needs driving the current pace of foundation model development across the industry. News number 16. Meta is preparing to deploy its new AI chip into production this September to significantly increase computing capacity. The move is part of a strategic effort aimed at doubling the company's overall computational throughput. Internal memos reveal that Meta is finalizing the rollout schedule for integrating this new hardware, which will serve as a core component in scaling their large-scale AI infrastructure. This hardware deployment is designed to support future demands for massive model training and complex inference operations across their platforms. The initiative focuses on expanding operational capacity by doubling current metrics, signaling a major push in hardware-software integration for their foundation models. This production phase will allow Meta to handle exponentially larger workloads, directly addressing the scalability challenges inherent in training next-generation AI systems. The strategy positions the new chip as essential for unlocking higher performance and efficiency within their ecosystem going forward. News number 17. The intense demand for specialized AI accelerators is creating a bottleneck in the supply chain for high-performance computing. Major players are now competing fiercely for limited access to these chips, which is driving up prices across the board. This dynamic has severely complicated the pipeline necessary for deploying next-generation foundation models and large-scale inference operations. The competition centers on securing the manufacturing capacity required to scale compute infrastructure rapidly. This chip rush forces companies to navigate complex sourcing strategies while attempting to maintain competitive positioning against rivals vying for the same scarce resources. News number 18. The market is currently advising investors to look at 3 specific AI chip stocks amid ongoing sector sell-offs. Analysts are pointing toward these holdings as potential opportunities within the semiconductor space. While specific details regarding benchmark scores or valuations were not provided in the summary, the recommendation focuses on companies positioned to capitalize on the current downturn. This strategic shift suggests a focus on underlying hardware performance rather than broader market sentiment. Competitors continue to face pressure from slower enterprise spending, which may stabilize pricing for these select chip manufacturers despite the broader macroeconomic headwinds. News number 19. The market is currently analyzing the divergent investment trajectories of Nvidia and AMD within the AI semiconductor sector as we look toward mid-2026. Analysts are weighing the competitive positioning of these two giants, focusing intensely on projected revenue streams and inference performance metrics for their respective GPU and accelerator lines. The core divergence centers on valuation models applied to future capital expenditure cycles and supply chain resilience. For instance, recent projections indicate that Nvidia maintains a significant lead in high-end data center sales, often tracking benchmarks above a 45% year-over-year growth rate, while AMD is demonstrating aggressive market share capture through competitive offerings in the high-performance computing segment. The investment analysis examines how shifts in foundry capacity and advanced packaging technologies will impact future gross margins for both firms. Prior announcements highlight Nvidia's sustained dominance in proprietary foundation model deployment, which influences long-term revenue predictability. Conversely, AMD's strategy focuses on leveraging its architecture to capture broader enterprise AI deployments through optimized chip designs. This competitive dynamic shapes investor sentiment regarding the stability and growth potential of each semiconductor stock as they navigate the evolving AI hardware landscape. News number 20. Semiconductor market activity has cooled significantly amid growing concerns over AI infrastructure, spending, and corporate demand. The sector experienced a sharp sell-off this week as investor sentiment soured regarding the pace of capital allocation toward AI hardware. This downturn was particularly acute in response to shifting forecasts concerning future revenue streams for major chip makers, impacting stocks like Intel. Analysts point to widening valuation gaps between high-end AI accelerators and legacy semiconductor production lines. The fear stems from uncertainty surrounding the long-term deployment costs associated with training large foundation models and subsequent inference demands across data centers globally. This market correction reflects a reassessment of the immediate ROI on massive capital expenditure in the GPU and specialized chip sectors. Competitors are currently positioning themselves by emphasizing efficiency gains in fabrication processes to mitigate these spending fears. The overall trend indicates a pivot from pure speculative AI hype toward tangible, production-ready deployment metrics for semiconductor manufacturers. News number 21. Data centers are facing significant scrutiny regarding the escalating costs associated with AI infrastructure deployment. The focus is now shifting to evaluating whether the projected benefits of large-scale AI adoption genuinely outweigh the substantial capital expenditure required for hardware and energy. This discussion centers on operational efficiency and long-term sustainability within the rapidly expanding AI ecosystem. News number 22. The memory bottleneck in AI hardware may be alleviated by ultra-thin chip stacks that have quadrupled high-bandwidth memory density. This development targets a critical constraint in scaling large foundation models and demanding inference operations. New architectural advancements are demonstrating a significant leap in memory integration, allowing for dramatically increased bandwidth within reduced physical footprints. These ultra-thin stack designs directly address the limitations of traditional memory interfaces, which often create bottlenecks when feeding massive computational arrays. The quadrupling of high-bandwidth memory density achieved through these chip stacks directly impacts how efficiently large models can execute complex inference tasks and handle parameter loading. This shift moves the focus from simply increasing raw memory capacity to optimizing data access and throughput at the silicon level. Industry analysts suggest this structural change is essential for future scaling of next-generation AI accelerators, positioning it as a key enabling technology for denser, more efficient compute units. News number 23. An AI robotics startup named Moomoo secured $3 million in pre-seed funding led by Version 1 Ventures. The seed capital was raised for the robotics company as it continues development within the AI sector. The investment round was spearheaded by Version 1 Ventures, signaling confidence in Mooooo's trajectory within the rapidly evolving automation space. This funding is allocated to scaling the core technology and expanding the operational capabilities of the startup's robotic systems. Mooooo is positioning itself at the intersection of physical robotics and advanced AI models, focusing on deploying intelligent solutions across various industrial applications. This move reflects a broader industry trend where foundational model expertise is increasingly being applied to tangible hardware. Version 1 Ventures' involvement underscores the market's interest in companies bridging the gap between theoretical AI capabilities and practical, deployable robotic systems. News number 24. Kaion AI recently secured $60 million in a funding round to develop a personalized story engine for users. The private equity raise is aimed at scaling the development of its proprietary narrative technology. This capital injection supports the expansion of engineering teams and the deployment of infrastructure necessary for their platform. The objective is to build an advanced system capable of generating highly personalized narratives based on user input parameters. Kaion AI is positioning this engine within the growing market of generative content and personalized media experiences. While specific details regarding the valuation were not disclosed, the funding round signifies investor confidence in the company's approach to applying large language models to creative applications. This move places Kaion AI directly in competition with other startups focusing on hyper-personalized content generation. News number 25. Crypto VC firm Paradigm has secured $1.2 billion in new capital to invest in technical frontier startups. This significant funding round signals a major reallocation of capital toward foundational AI infrastructure and deep technology ventures within the crypto ecosystem. The investment is aimed at fueling the development of next-generation foundation models, advanced inference technologies, and novel decentralized computing architectures. Paradigm's strategy focuses on backing teams building scalable solutions for complex computational problems that sit at the intersection of blockchain and artificial intelligence. This move positions the firm to capitalize on emerging opportunities where cutting-edge machine learning meets decentralized finance. The capital injection underscores a growing market appetite for sophisticated AI applications built on robust, distributed ledger technologies. News number 26. An Israeli AI startup has secured $27 million in funding. The company recently announced this capital raise on July 9, 2026. This injection of capital supports the scaling of their operations within the competitive AI landscape. While specific details regarding the allocation for research, infrastructure development, or commercial deployment were not detailed in the initial announcement, the funding positions the startup to expand its operational capacity. This move comes as the Israeli AI sector continues to attract significant investment, indicating strong confidence in the company's proprietary foundation model and its trajectory toward market penetration. The capital is strategically aimed at accelerating the development of their core technology and expanding their team to handle increased inference demands. This funding places the startup in a competitive position against global players vying for dominance in the generative AI space. News number 27. Russia has enacted new legislation mandating that domestic artificial intelligence models align with established traditional values. This regulatory shift aims to impose specific cultural and ethical constraints on AI development within the country. The law establishes a framework requiring local AI deployments to adhere to specific societal norms, fundamentally influencing how foundational models are developed and fine-tuned domestically. This move signals a state-level intervention into the governance of technology, directly impacting how developers approach model training data and deployment strategies. The legislation seeks to ensure that the development trajectory of domestic AI systems reflects national cultural priorities. Industry observers are watching how this mandate impacts access to global AI tools and the competitive positioning of Russian tech firms operating in the global market. The implementation details of this law will define the operational boundaries for future AI research and commercialization within Russia. News number 28. The European Union has established an action plan to develop a roadmap for countering AI-driven cyber threats and strengthening critical infrastructure security. This comprehensive initiative outlines the strategic framework for mitigating the risks posed by advanced AI systems targeting essential services across the bloc. The plan focuses on developing robust defensive measures specifically tailored to protect critical infrastructure from sophisticated, AI-accelerated cyber attacks. The roadmap details specific steps for enhancing security protocols within critical sectors, aiming to address vulnerabilities introduced by increasingly complex machine learning operations and data flows. This effort is designed to ensure resilience against threats that exploit the unique vectors created by generative models and autonomous systems. Industry observers note this move comes as competitive nations accelerate their own AI security frameworks, positioning the EU's approach as a crucial regulatory benchmark for global standards in industrial cyber defense. The plan mandates coordinated efforts between governmental agencies and private sector entities to implement effective mitigation strategies immediately. News number 29. Healthcare CIOs are facing increased pressure to redefine governance, validation protocols, and trust frameworks in response to AI hallucinations within clinical settings. This challenge stems from the inherent risk that generative models produce factually inaccurate outputs, which poses significant liability in regulated environments like healthcare. The core issue centers on ensuring data integrity and reliable inference when deploying large foundation models for patient care decisions. This realization forces healthcare IT leadership to move beyond simple deployment metrics and establish rigorous validation chains. Organizations are now prioritizing the development of robust governance structures that monitor hallucination rates across diagnostic and treatment pathways. The focus is shifting from simply adopting new AI tools to implementing operational safeguards that validate model outputs against clinical evidence before they influence patient care. This pivot requires integrating advanced trust mechanisms directly into the MLOps pipeline to mitigate the risks associated with unreliable generative results in critical care scenarios. News number 30. Fresno State University has launched an artificial intelligence minor available to students across various disciplines. The university has expanded its curriculum to offer this AI minor, broadening access to artificial intelligence education for students outside of traditional computer science programs. This initiative allows students from diverse fields to engage with core concepts in machine learning and data analysis. The program aims to foster interdisciplinary understanding of AI applications. This move signals a broader institutional commitment to integrating AI literacy across the academic spectrum. While focusing on undergraduate education, the minor provides students with foundational knowledge necessary for future roles in the rapidly evolving tech sector. This expansion supports the growing demand for interdisciplinary talent capable of applying AI principles across various domains. Thank you for watching today's AI news. Please like this video and subscribe to stay updated with the latest tech developments. Join us tomorrow for more fascinating AI coverage.